By the end of this video, you'll build a working health AI agent that connects real data and tools. No coding required. If you're a founder, innovator, or professional in wellness, healthcare, pharma, or life sciences, looking to streamline workflows and get more value from health data, Arkus is for you. With Arkus, you can build multiple health AI agents that automate administrative tasks, support complex decision-making, and connect to health data and external tools, helping you turn ideas into real solutions faster. But before we build anything, let's look at the final result. Here, we have a clinical documentation and coding assistant built with Arkus. It starts by greeting the user and requesting a transcribed patient meeting note. Once the note is provided, the agent creates a concise summary of the consultation, helping clinicians quickly review the key information. It identifies the likely diagnoses and medicines mentioned in the conversation. It uses the ICD-11 tool to find relevant coding candidates and explains why those codes match the documented conditions. The agent also checks OpenFDA for reported adverse events related to the identified medicines and summarizes any relevant findings. Finally, it generates a structured output that can be used directly in an EHR system or integrated into a clinical workflow. All of this is performed automatically from a single transcribed patient conversation. Now let's see how this agent was built. The Arkus platform is intuitive and doesn't require any programming skills. After logging in or creating your account, you can use the conversational builder to describe what you want your agent to do. If you scroll down, you'll find the agents you've previously created, along with ready-to-use templates that can help you get started from an idea faster. Let's use the conversational builder to create our clinical documentation and coding assistant. When creating an agent with Arkus, it's helpful to start with a few key pieces of information. First, define the purpose of the agent. What problem is it solving? And what outcome are you trying to achieve? In our case, we want to create a clinical documentation and coding assistant that helps clinicians transform patient meeting notes into structured documentation, coding suggestions, and medication safety insights. Next, identify the users. Who will use the agent? Here, the users are clinicians who need to document consultations and prepare information for EHR systems. Then think about the inputs. What data will be provided by the user and used by the agent? In this case, the input is a transcribed patient meeting note containing symptoms, diagnoses, treatments, medications, and other relevant clinical information. We also need to define the knowledge and data sources the agent should use. We'll use ICD-11 for medical coding and OpenFDA for adverse event reporting. Next, define the outputs. We want the agent to generate a clinical summary, identify diagnoses and medicines, provide ICD-11 coding candidates with rationale, summarize any relevant adverse event reports, and create an EHR-ready output. Notice that we're not writing code. We're simply describing a situation or workflow through the agent's purpose, users, inputs, knowledge sources, and outputs. Now let's send this to Arkus and see what it generates. As Arkus analyzes the request, it reviews the information we've provided and confirms the proposed workflow. If any important information is missing, Arkus will ask follow-up questions before proceeding. This helps ensure the generated agent matches the intended use case and requirements. Once everything is reviewed and confirmed, Arkus generates the initial version of the agent. This process can take a few minutes, but once it's complete, we can immediately run the agent and see how it's working. This is the same clinical documentation and coding assistant we saw at the beginning of the video. To run it, we simply use the test button here. We'll come back to the other options in this panel in a few moments. Now, as in most real-world scenarios, we'll likely want to refine and customize the agent over time. To do that, let's take a quick look at the workflow Arkus generated behind the scenes and see how we can make adjustments. By clicking Edit Architecture, we can see the components that make up the agent, including the instructions, tools, and outputs that work together to perform the task. One of the easiest ways to customize an agent is by adjusting its prompt. Start by locating the agent node in the workflow. Inside this node, you'll find the instructions that define how the agent should behave, what tasks it should perform, and how it should structure its output. Any adjustments made here will be reflected in the agent's results over time. Arkus also supports a growing set of integrations, allowing agents to interact with health tools, databases, productivity platforms, and other services as part of their workflow. This is where you would continue building, refining, and customizing the agent to meet your specific needs. When everything is ready, the Integrate option allows us to quickly and easily connect the agent to platforms such as Lovable, as well as integrate it with third-party systems through APIs. The agent can also be shared with colleagues or other users. Using the Share option, we can control who has access and how it can be used. This makes it easy to move from building and testing to real-world use. We've covered a lot in a short time, so let's take a quick look at what we've accomplished. We started by defining the purpose, users, inputs, knowledge sources, and outputs of our agent. Using that information, Arkus generated an initial version of the clinical documentation and coding assistant without requiring any code. We then explored the generated workflow, reviewed the instructions that guide the agent's behavior, and saw how the agent can be refined and customized over time. Finally, we looked at how agents can be integrated with external platforms and systems and shared with other users. From a simple description, we've created a working health AI agent that connects real data and tools. Now it's your turn. In just a few minutes, you've seen how to create, customize, and deploy a healthcare AI agent with Arkus. Start building your own agent today, explore the templates and tools available in the platform, and see what's possible when AI, health data, and healthcare expertise come together. Let's build the future of healthcare.